gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
2 days after a teenage boy was fatally shot in a bathroom at his high school here in Harford County, and a second teenage boy was arrested and charged with a murder. New details in the case are coming to light as controversy continues to brew and heat up over a state law.
Woo! So, guys, I mean, we see another school shooting, and this one in Joppatowne, at Joppatowne High School, is, to me, it's op culture related. It wasn't like it was this guy's going in and looking for mass casualties, but it's still a very serious situation, a very serious crime that, adds to the statistics of mass shootings, and particularly adds to the black men who are committing school shootings. And that is a issue that I take because we are damaging our image globally and nationally. And if we don't change it, we're going to end up in a very bad situation, in a very difficult dispute. We're already, in many cases, being replaced in our respective cities when it comes to these illegal aliens. So, we need to come correct when we're going to start demanding things, asking for things, requiring things out of our politicians. And that means being united, doing the right thing, and ousting the criminal element of our culture and our respective race.
2 days after the fatal school shooting in which one teenage boy was fatally shot in a bathroom and a second teen was arrested and charged with the murder, new details are coming to light, including that the victim and suspect not only knew of each other, but that they'd clashed previously. That's according to court documents in the case. And the gun allegedly used has yet to be found. That's according to Harford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor, who blasted state law as the reason why.
We are not allowed to ask the person who committed that act because of this crazy legislature we have in this state.
The 2022 Maryland Child Interrogation Protection Act bars police and prosecutors from interviewing any child before they talk to an attorney.
Wow, so that's pretty much here's the thing. In one case, you don't want minors to incriminate themselves, especially without legal representation. There should be a parent involved. I think it's more important to have a parent present. Not going to say more than an attorney, because an attorney is going to just tell you not to say nothing. But this law is inhibiting law enforcement from doing their job. I don't think it's a crazy law. I think it was done in good intention. But, nowadays we're living in a world where things are very much easily provable. And if somebody were, if a child was in an interrogation room and he was made to confess, I definitely don't think that's fair that you have a child in an interrogation room by themselves and they're made to confess to a crime that they may not have committed. But since there is most likely video evidence, strong witness testimony to, put some charges on this guy in particular, it's like they can't really thoroughly get through their investigation because of this law. I'm pretty much torn on the law. I'm more focused on, I'm more focused on the fact that this guy took the actions that he did in the first place? That's what I want to focus on.
Opponents say the statute hinders investigations and delays justice for victims.
With our criminal-friendly legislature here in Maryland, this is a 16-year-old suspect that we are now not allowed to talk to. I hope my frustration is clear that this legislature has handcuffed police.
Supporters of the law disagree, including high-profile Baltimore criminal defense attorney Warren Brown, who is not connected to this case.
That those same concerns were voiced decades ago when when the court said that these Miranda warnings had to be given. Law enforcement will get used to it. They're pretty adept at investigations and the work that they do, so they'll work around this.
We asked officials if anyone else could be charged in the case in connection with the gun, as we saw in Georgia last week. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office telling 11 News the investigation is still active to include details on the gun. If the investigation shows that additional people were criminally responsible for this act, then we will pursue charges. Tonight, the teenage suspect is being held at the Harford County Detention Center, awaiting a bail review before a district court judge. In Bel Air, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
Yeah, that's right. She says that she was in the school when the shooting happened, saw him in the hallway after the shooting, and was there for him shortly before he died.
Traumatizing. Real traumatizing. Feels like a dream.
Sayana Strand says her boyfriend, 15-year-old Warren Curtis Grant, was shot inside of a bathroom at Joppatowne High School. He passed away from his injuries shortly after the shooting. Strand says that the last time she saw Grant was in her arms, fighting for his life.
I just seen them carrying him, and they sat him on the floor, and I did everything I could. I did CPR. I put pressure on his wound. I made sure he didn't talk. I held him down when he was trying to fight it. I was there for him as much as I could be.
Strand tells 11 News that she and Grant grew up together. She remembers him as a good person to her and others.
He was a energetic person, a caring person, never wanted to see anybody sad. He was always smiling, and he knew what to say, when to say it, and he was very respectful, very well-mannered. Like, he was raised as a good child, like he had things going for himself in life.
Over the weekend, several members of the community attended a vigil for Grant and left candles and balloons for him at a local basketball court. Strand says she's hoping there's some kind of justice in response to Grant's death.
So yeah, it's very unfortunate that you have this young man who was murdered at school, for one, which is absolutely crazy. It seems like, you know, the way that this sister is presenting him, he's a good kid. But, you know, we don't know the details of this shooting. In the Appalachia situation, you could tell it was random. The guy was just looking for blood. He was looking to take out the first people that he saw, and he did so. It was a mass casualty event where he was looking for more victims. But in this case, it very much seems like maybe this guy was just targeting, you know, this kid right here. And, you know, it's sad that you have young black men who can't handle or solve their disputes in a diplomatic fashion. But I also do not agree with participating in the op culture, participating in the provocation of these scenarios, because all it ends up doing is ending in bloodshed. So
he didn't deserve it. Like, he wasn't even that type of kid.
Now, I also spoke with Grant's mother and father. They did not want to go on camera, but they told me that Grant was a good kid, he was popular in school, and that he was loved by the community. Reporting live outside of Joppatowne High School, Kyrie Stewart, WBAL TV 11 News.
With a memorial growing and candles still flickering,
he was calm, he was the one for it.
The Joppatowne community is grieving the loss of 15-year-old Warren Grant.
Warren was a gift from God. Like, he is the perfect example of constantly showing up for people, constantly being there for people.
Grant was killed Friday at Joppatowne High School, days into the new school year. Charging docs say Grant was shot in the school bathroom. The person accused of pulling the trigger, 16-year-old Jaylen Prince.
There's no reason that we should be grieving a 15-year-old boy.
The charging docs say the two had issues, and witnesses in the bathroom say both Grant and Prince had gotten into an argument. Prince is then accused of reaching into his backpack, firing a shot from a handgun, shooting Grant in the stomach.
Wow. It's just like that. How a dispute can get violent real quick. I mean, you're having an argument and then you pulled a strap on this kid? I mean, come on. Where are we at in this country where we can't talk it out? I mean, back in the day, we would, there would be fights. You might fight it out, whatever, in the bathroom. Get your 5 minutes and then it was done. But this generation, man, they are on a different type of timing. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Grant later died from his injuries.
It wasn't no gang violence. It wasn't really what a lot of people thought it was for real. It just was a bad situation.
And while Grant is being remembered.
So he's saying it wasn't no gang violence. Do we really believe that? I mean, I don't know. It looks like they were in an argument. Things escalated. But maybe the shooter was in a gang. I don't know, but why are you bringing a gun to school if you're not in a gang?
Everybody loved Warren.
Prince made his first court appearance Monday, facing charges for murder, assault, and possession of a firearm. He's being charged as an adult. A judge ordering him to be held without bail. The state's attorney arguing he's a danger to the public, especially since they say they found ammunition in his room, photos of him with a firearm on his phone, and they say the gun from the shooting has yet to be found. His attorney representing him Monday disagreeing, pushing instead for home detention.
I think that everybody has a constitutional right to be not detained while their case is pending because they are presumed to be not guilty.
In the wake of the shooting, Joppatowne High School will be closed to students until Thursday. School officials are offering counseling and services to students, but some of Grant's friends, as well as more than 3,000 people in the community, are calling for change. This petition is circulating online for metal detectors and clear backpacks.
That should have never happened. There's no reason why children should not be able to be safe.
Well, the big headline here, bail denied for the 16-year-old accused of murdering a classmate by shooting him once in the stomach during a fight in a bathroom at Joppatowne High on...
Oh, so they did take it to the bathroom. Dang. Well, took it to the bathroom and decided to pull a firearm. That is, man, that's different, man. Like I said, these young ninjas are moving way differently now. Things that were inconceivable to us back in the day are very much a reality. And I was trying to come up with solutions. He should have, if they wanted to hook it out, if they had a beef, if it had to get physical, take it to the bathroom. He took it to the bathroom. I guess he's losing the fight and he pulls a gun.
Friday. In denying the bail, the judge today explained there's still this firearm that's outstanding that the defendant knows the location of. And the judge said if the defendant was released, that would be a significant risk to the public.
I don't agree with that assertion.
Reaction from attorney Marcus Jenkins after his 16-year-old client, Jaylen Prince, was deemed a danger to the public by a district court judge and denied bail.
I think that everybody has a constitutional right to be not detained while their case is pending because they are presumed to be not guilty.
Prince is charged with first-degree murder for fatally shooting 15-year-old Warren Grant, a fellow student, in a bathroom at their high school on Friday. Arrested shortly after the shooting, Prince faced a judge today on 6 criminal counts. During the hearing, prosecutors told the judge a search warrant executed at Prince's home and on his digital devices turned up ammunition of the same caliber and brand used in the shooting. And a photo on his cell phone was found of Prince posing with the gun on the day of the shooting. Jenkins said his...
Wow. So he was posing with the gun. They probably already set the fight up. He knew what it was. And he crashed out on this man. These super teen gremlins are on demon time.
Was found of Prince posing with the gun on the day of the shooting. Jenkins said his client has no criminal history and is just barely 16 years old. Plays 2 positions on his high school football team and has a job at Walmart collecting carts from the parking lot. And if granted bail, Jenkins said, his client can be released on home detention to live with his mom in Edgewood or to live with a family friend, a police officer who lives in Reisterstown. Can you tell us more about the law enforcement officer in Baltimore County who said Mr. Prince can come live at his house in Reisterstown?
Unfortunately, I cannot talk about that at this time.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. They're saying, oh, he's a good kid. He can come live in my crib. Woo! I mean, I guess this is what giving back to the community means. You know, a black kid commits murder and you harbor a cold-blooded killer. You know, this is no snitching to the next level. And there's a police officer, you know, who said he could come stay with him.
With a family friend, a police officer who lives in Reisterstown. Can you tell us more about the law enforcement officer in Baltimore County who said Mr. Prince can come live at his house in Reisterstown?
Unfortunately, I cannot talk about that at this time. He wanted to keep his information anonymous.
We can tell you this, tonight the suspect remains behind bars in custody at the Harford County Detention Center, and his next court date is scheduled for September 19th. Live in Bel Air tonight, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
They dragged him out, carried him out the bathroom. She was right there to try to give some type of comfort to him as Desmond and a few other boys attended to do some type of medical aid.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Vincent Hill. The suspect in that shooting, 16-year-old Jaylen Prince, has been charged as an adult. Following his arrest, Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor voiced his frustration over not being able to interrogate the suspect because of the juvenile justice laws on the books.
This case is a tragic example where you have thousands of people affected between the school and the parents and people.
So it definitely seems like they're protecting this young man. Maybe his mama got some good connections, you know, maybe she throwing it back for some people who, you know, have influence in this city. And I think that's wrong. I think they definitely should. I'm not against him being interrogated with legal counsel, but I think he definitely needs to be interrogated. I think we need to get to the bottom of this because there was a life loss in a shooting on public property, a school, and that's extremely serious, especially with the temperature in the country right now when it comes to school shootings.
People that will be going to school in the future years of wanting to know the answers behind this, and again, we're prohibited from even talking to a 16-year-old who's going to be charged as an adult.
Because of the Child Interrogation Protection Act, the sheriff says there's still a lot of unanswered questions like how did the suspect get the gun or where the gun even is. It's reigniting the debate over when police should be able to question juveniles, especially for the most serious offenses.
As soon as EMS gets here, need a stretcher and we can move.
As 15-year-old Warren Curtis lay dying on the floor in Joppatowne High School.
Riley Court. Someone's trying to get into the apartment building. It's a male subject and he hurt someone.
His alleged shooter was on the run, but was caught a short time later. The Harford County Sheriff's Office naming the shooter as 16-year-old Jaylen Rashawn Prince.
I know that he's not unknown to us.
Prince, no stranger to the Harford County Sheriff's Office.
10 times, at least 10 times, our office has dealt with the suspect in this case, either as a victim, a witness, or a suspect.
So they've dealt with this guy 10 times. They said he didn't have a criminal record, and most likely he didn't get No charges sustained from his interaction with the police, but they have interacted with him. So he's had brush-ins with the law, and they probably weren't able to build a case on him. But the fact that you're that young, having so many brush-ups with the law, shows that, you know, you're on a negative trajectory, I would say. You're on a path of destruction.
And because of the laws, you know, we can't to talk to him.
Because of Maryland's Child Interrogation Protection Act, no juvenile under the age of 17 can be questioned without talking to an attorney first and having a parent or guardian notified. Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor calling out attorneys who use the law to their advantage.
In a lot of cases that our deputies see, the parents, the guardians want them to talk, but the lawyer says no.
In the Joppatowne High School shooting, investigators say the gun is still unaccounted for, and because of the law.
There's no attorney's going to let him talk to us because he's only going to be offering incriminating information.
They may never know where it is. Across the state, prosecutors have long spoken out about the law and how it hinders prosecution, including Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger, where a gun was a key piece of the case.
So my question in the General Assembly was, what do you do with somebody like Nick Browning? He killed both of his parents. That means the gun we were looking for, if we hadn't been able to interview him, we would have still been out on the street, and we would not have been able to proceed with how we found that gun.
For Sheriff Gaylor, who's dealing with the nation's second deadly school shooting in less than a week.
We know the result of the legislation is that more young people are committing more crimes.
He feels this one could have likely been prevented.
It's frustrating that, you know, I have to ask, and I'm sure other citizens are going to ask the same question, had we been able to intervene and maybe the criminal justice system earlier in this young man's life, maybe he's not facing murder charges.
Maryland High School is closed until Thursday after a teen was shot and killed there last week. The shooting happened at Joppatowne High School in Harford County. Police identifying the alleged shooter as 16-year-old Jaylen Prince. Witnesses say an argument between Prince and a classmate escalated when he pulled a gun out of his backpack and shot another teen. Police identifying 15-year-old Warren Grant as that teen. Prince is expected to be charged as an adult in this case. Meanwhile, school officials say students will not return to class until this Thursday.
Big headline here, bail denied for the 16-year-old accused of murdering a classmate by shooting him once in the stomach during a fight in a bathroom at Joppatowne High on Friday. In denying the bail, the judge today explained there's still this firearm that's outstanding that the defendant knows the location of. And the judge said if the defendant was released, that would be a significant risk to the public.
I don't agree with that assertion.
Reaction from attorney Marcus Jenkins after his 16-year-old client, Jaylen Prince, was deemed a danger to the public by a district court judge and denied bail.
I think that everybody has a constitutional right to be not detained while their case is pending because they are presumed to be not guilty.
Prince is charged with first-degree murder for fatally shooting 15-year-old Warren Grant, a fellow student, in a bathroom at their high school on Friday. Arrested shortly after the shooting, Prince faced a judge today on 6 criminal counts. During the hearing, prosecutors told the judge a search warrant executed at Prince's home and on his digital devices turned up ammunition of the same caliber and brand used in the shooting. And a photo on his cell phone was found of Prince posing with the gun on the day of the shooting. Jenkins said his client has no criminal history and is just barely 16 years old, plays 2 positions on his high school football team, and has a job at Walmart collecting carts from the parking lot. And if granted bail, Jenkins said, his client can be released on home detention to live with his mom in Edgewood or to live with a family friend, a police officer who lives in Reisterstown. Can you tell us more about the law enforcement officer in Baltimore County who said Mr. Prince can come live at his house in Reisterstown?
Unfortunately, I cannot talk about that at this time. He wanted to keep his information anonymous.
We can tell you this, tonight the suspect remains behind bars in custody at the Harford County Detention Center, and his next court date is scheduled for September 19th. Live in Bel Air tonight, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
Yeah, Rebecca, certainly a sad day for the Harford County community. We know that victim is 15-year-old Warren Curtis Grant, who was a student at Joppatowne High School. Let's go ahead and take a look
of the scene earlier. Now, we don't know the shooter's name, but we're told he will be charged as an adult in this case. And we understand the principal of the school, Melissa Williams, was one of the first people to actually reach the victim that was shot inside the restroom there. She spoke a little over an hour ago about the strength of the Harford County community. Take a listen.
Joppatowne is a loving and strong community who will, without a doubt, rally among our families, support one another, and continue to support our community and all of our families. I want to thank our amazing staff as well. We are one town, and we are Jaytown.
And back out here live, the Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor addressed his frustration about not being able to interview or interrogate that 16-year-old shooter. Of course, we know the gun is still unaccounted for, and he's very upset that he can't even ask those questions. Jeff Abel will have that part of the story coming up tonight at 10. For now, we're live in Harford County. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
I spoke to a parent and a grandparent who say they had some concerns sending their kids back to school, and they're hoping what happened Friday does not happen again.
You just got to go in there and try to get back to what's your now new norm.
That's what Danita Wells told her 10th grade granddaughter as she dropped her off at Joppatowne High School Thursday. For Wells, she says this tragedy was tough on her granddaughter because she grew up with Warren Grant. That's the 15-year-old who was shot to death in the bathroom Friday.
She said he was a good guy. He did no harm to her. He was always friendly.
Only sophomores and seniors were scheduled to come to the building, with school letting out 3 hours early. For the first day back, there were Harford County Sheriff's deputies and grief counselors on site. But for parent Bonnie Gronke, she still has many unanswered questions.
The teachers here, it's nobody's fault here, but so many things went wrong. And nobody's really talked about that. I'm waiting for the many phone calls that come. I'm waiting for the phone call that says there's a meeting so you can ask certain questions.
The district announced several...
Wow, so they're pretty much keeping this hush-hush. This is not a national story at all. And, man, I mean, it's pretty interesting that this is not a national story, because it still is a school shooting. Now, his intentions weren't to, I guess, have a mass casualty event happen, but it was a school shooting, extremely important. This guy killed someone, okay? And it seems like, from all accounts, the government is protecting him.
Several changes to ensure students are safe. New lockers will be coming to the high school next week, but until then, students will not be allowed to carry backpacks to school. For Gronke, she believes this is more of an inconvenience for students.
But my daughter today had to leave her book bag in the car with all her books, and upset about if she's bringing the right stuff in, because she can't carry her book bag. Not even a purse that's big enough to fit a computer in. Kids aren't carrying guns in their book bags.
And tomorrow, all students will return to class, and it will be a half day as well. In Joppatowne, I'm Jonathan Hunter for WMAR 2 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.